Hello, this is Lisa Christensen, and hi. Today is Tuesday, November the 21st, and so I feel really motivated to do this because I'm feeling really grateful right now. I got a message from Susie Van, who I held when she was a little girl, and David was standing by the fireplace, and it reminded me that, we were all raised that we just ask for prayers and stuff like that. We don't really ask for things. But we always ask and see what we can do for someone else, and we really do try to do it. And ironically, I think it's in some kind of way, it fills a void that maybe was there. And so, but I do have a funny part to tell you about this. So this morning, right, I wake up and it's just a great morning. I'm having a fabulous morning this morning. And I wake up, and David, he comes down and he says, "Hey, I have an early Christmas present for you." And I said, "Oh, okay." And this, I've named it Genevieve, because this blanket used to be his grandmother's blanket. And David is now 72 or 3. I'm not sure. But it used to belong to David's grandma, and she gave it to him. And so David, every time I want to curl up on the sofa or whatever, I've kind of like taken over, I've cabbaged on is what we call it, cabbaged onto the fuzzy blanket. And so I am really grateful. So I have to thank David for that. And so here's the funny part of it all, okay? First of all, thank you, David. I'm really, really, really grateful for this. I love this blanket. And on my birthday, several years ago, it was really, literally several years ago, like had to be around 2010 or something. I'm not really so good with time frame. For those of you that know me well know that already. And so anyway, David, this clock that's right here behind me, I've been wanting it forever. And David has had it literally forever. I'm sure that's one of those things that was passed down to David over time also. And I was pretty sure I didn't like the clock when I first was around it because it would always wake me up. Well, over time, it got to be where I couldn't sleep without the chime of the clock. And so I was having my car serviced, and well, the dealership is in Oklahoma City. It's the only place you can go. And I was staying at David's, and it happened to be my birthday over that weekend. And David said, "I'll tell you what," and he said, "if you can put," I think it was 3 balls, and he said, "if you can put these 3 golf balls into this cup, then you can have the clock and you can take it with you." And so I tried, and David made it so much fun because he kept moving the cup out of the way with his foot. It was so funny. I finally, after many, many hours, and probably a few days, I finally got all 3 of the balls into the cup. So we call it permanent vacation. So now the clock is on permanent vacation over here. And then I'm gonna walk you over here for a second, and because you got to see this is really cool. So this beautiful rug, it came all the way from China, and David, there's a long story with how David got it, and this is another thing that was, well anyway, when David had a mishap once upon a time, I forget what it was that happened, he's just not had very much luck, because the reason he's with me right now is his house burnt down several years ago, and I invited him to stay with me because, well, one of the times years and years ago, I want to say this one was more like 2003 or 4, something like that, I'm not sure. David was getting ready to move, and so he said, "Well, the rug can stay on vacation with you." Okay, so I'll walk you over here. This is what we're working on next, by the way, okay? So these are all items on permanent vacation. Oh yeah, there's more too, but I mean, there are so many more things. I've got like a marble table and all kinds of cool stuff that have made their way to permanent vacation. So here we go. The artist of this picture right here is, I forget if he paints with his mouth, is that right? Yeah, he paints with his mouth. And it's just a beautiful piece. It's a masterpiece. And so David is pretty convinced he's taken it with him. And I keep telling him, "Well, you should really think about it because it just goes with everything and it really looks good there." And so I don't know, but we'll see if David lets it stay on permanent vacation. He swears not so much, but we'll see if it is.
The artist's name is Greg Burns, and he paints with the toothbrush between his teeth. He doesn't really paint with the mouth.
Oh, whoa, that's right. That's right. Oh, so it's a neat
Yeah,
story. Yeah, it's a beautiful
He's
story.
paralyzed, and so he paints with it in his mouth using his teeth.
Yeah, so now that we have told you our story, I'm going to go curl up with my fuzzy blanket, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much. This is Lisa Christensen. Oh, and I hope you have an amazing Thanksgiving. I know I'm going to.